Hello.
Hi.
I think I'm hitting my burnout stage of
Are you
creation.
ready for your existential crisis?
Yeah.
Saddle up.
I'm trying to push through burnout stage of creation. I'm just trying to keep going. But now I'm down to the dregs of ideas.
So we're going to play a game.
So we're going to play a game.
We're going to play our game.
Our game, yeah, the Blackout Cards Family Edition. We're just going to ask each other questions from the pack. What's a seasonal activity you'd like to do together?
I've got one.
I've got one too. What's yours?
Mine is go to the Christmas tree farm.
Oh, you love that, don't you?
Yeah, I do love the Christmas tree farm.
Mine's go.
It's so magical.
Yeah.
Although it does stress me out because Grayson likes to still at age 10 get in the Christmas trees, and I'm like, I'm like the only one there that's like, Grayson, get out of the trees.
Yeah, he's a bit feral.
Which of your physical traits would you change if you could? It's a hard question for you.
I've got a mole there. I hate it. I want to get
off.
rid of it. Yeah, I want to get rid of it. I'd get rid of that.
I named that mole.
I know. What do you call it?
Finsbury.
Finsbury. Yeah. I hate
After Finsbury Park.
it. Yeah. What about you?
I think mine would either be to be a bit taller.
Yeah. Longer legs.
Or to get my stomach fixed after having kids because it's
love your stomach.
It's just a mess.
It's not a
It's
mess.
a mess.
It's literally the most beautiful stomach ever. It's just it's a
shut up.
mess. It's so
No,
ridiculous.
I hate it.
It's not.
I know I'm supposed to sound like be like all chill
Body
because I'm like,
positive.
oh, it's because I had kids and blah blah blah. But I'm like, I miss my old stomach. I want my old stomach. Do you want to pick one?
Oh, go on, give me that one to do. If you could sit down with your 15-year-old self, what would you tell them? Buy Bitcoin. Buy as much as you can. That's what I'd say.
I would probably say, I would say the same thing that I would say to my 35-year-old self, actually, which I find I always really have to work on, is try not to take everything so seriously. Like, have a bit more fucking fun.
Yeah, man.
You know? How do you feel when I give you compliments?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever felt it.
Stef loves when I give him compliments.
Because they're so rare.
Quite often, Stef will look in the mirror and be like, God, I'm just so handsome. But he's not joking. He's like, God, look how great I look. And I'm like, if anything, I need to bat you down.
I'm trying to like hint to Hannah. Because you know when like Pippi, Pippi tries to hump George.
That's one thing you don't communicate well.
Do you know when Pippi tries to hump George? And I'm like, why is she trying to hump him when she's the girl and he's the boy and she's the humping? I think she's trying to show him like what to do. So when I'm being like, look how gorgeous you are, it's like me trying to be like, look what you're supposed to do here. You're supposed to say these things yourself, so I don't need to do it.
That would be better. You need to work on your communication because that is not what I get. I just get, oh, he's got a big ego.
Listen, the only reason why Hannah sat here as my wife is because I have confidence. You have to have confidence in life as a man. You have to be confident.
I know.
Yeah.
There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. That's all I'm saying.
And I am on the right side of that line.
Okay.
Very handsome, but at the same time, very modest.
Pick a new card. Shut up.
What do you daydream about, Sydney Sweeney?
Said every 40-year-old man.
How do you feel about taking responsibilities for your actions during a conflict?
I feel like I'm really good at that.
Do you?
Yeah. I always say sorry if I've been out of line. You know I do. I'm the first one as well. I always am the first one to apologise.
Yeah, because normally it is you.
No, it's not.
We're very
Hello,
much,
ego.
We're very
Hello,
much
ego.
on your cycle.
Yeah, and you're just very irritating.
I'm not irritating. God. If you were to give me an award, what would it be for?
Imagination, probably.
Nice.
Like your imagination is just like overflowing all the time, and it's kind of cool.
I think for you would be just for being like a really good person.
You think I'm a good person?
I think you're a really good person.
In what way?
Just like a really good.
I feel like I have a massive
No, you can. You're a good.
bitch.
You can be a dick, but you're really just a good person. Fundamentally, like however you were brought up or whatever has happened to you in your life to make you the person you are, you should be very proud of who you are. And I think
that's very nice.
you'd be awarded for being a really good person.
Shame you didn't say that off camera.
Yeah, it doesn't count on camera.
No,
does
it really doesn't.
Nothing counts on camera. What are your thoughts on long-term financial goals?
Don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest.
God, I guess they're just not to be anxious about money.
To engineer
nice.
things cleverly in a way that means we get to rest at some point.
Yeah.
How do you feel about creating a bucket list of experiences? I feel like we don't really need a bucket list. I feel like we're quite aligned with most
stuff
things.
I want to do. I want to skydive.
Can you do that when the kids have grown up, though?
So I don't die. Yeah, okay.
Because then if you die, I'll just get loads of dogs.
Of Dachshunds.
Yeah. Well, maybe not Dachshunds. I want a big wolf dog.
Yeah, you'd be like, we're going to go skydiving today,
It'll just be me and the wolf dog in bed together.
I packed your parachute for you. Off you go.
Did you sign that life insurance,
Pets for home. How do you feel when we reflect on our arguments? I honestly, if we have a big argument, it throws me out for not just days but weeks. Like if we have a big argument, I'm not okay for like a couple of weeks because
we don't really have them though.
I hate our arguments so much when they're big ones because it makes everything feel so fragile suddenly, and then I just get really worried, and I have these recurring dreams about being on like Tinder and like using these apps and then like sort of meeting these people that I really don't like, and none of them are you, and I just get freaked out by it. I'm like,
Who loves me? I'm very much a person that likes to talk things over a lot, and I think a lot of it is related to growing up probably like essentially fatherless, and I think a lot of it is related to like childhood sense of like I need security, you know, and so talking is how I feel like I get that. That makes sense. I got a good one. What's a skill you would like to develop, and how can I help?
Pan when we're out there in I want to get a decent hand pan. The one I've got is quite a budget one, and when I played that one,
so just allow you to buy a hand pan then?
Yeah, when we were in where was it? We were in Porto Covo, and I went into that really kind of like hippie shop, and they had a proper one which was like $2,500. The difference in playing that, God, it was just the most divine sound ever. So I would love to at some point, when we're settled and everything's good. And
sometimes it's hard being your wife, just keeping on top of your like financial behaviour, because I'm like, no, Steph, you can't spend $2,000 on a handpan. I feel like I'm the mum, and I have to always be like,
there's
no,
always so
you
much
can't
stuff
do this.
Though that I want to get into that foiling when we get to Portugal. I need a kite and a foil, and then I was probably going to.
I'm exhausted. I'm like, how many thousands of pounds is this?
It's the thing. Everything's so expensive these days, and there's so much fun stuff that you can do. So it's like it's really frustrating.
How can we improve our communication during stressful times?
I think we know how each other are, and then we know how to adjust our own temperament on the basis of how the other person is. I think 95% of our communication is non-verbal.
That's why sometimes it doesn't work.
What?
Because I'm like, why doesn't he know that I want him to do this?
Yeah.
And you're the same. You're like, doesn't she get that like I've said this, so it means this? And I'm like, no, he needs to just bloody be really like lay everything out, you know? Yeah. What's the most romantic thing you think we can do without spending money?
Oh, without spending money. There's nothing you can do in life without not spending money. Like, shut up, twat.
My favourite thing is probably...
Even if we go for a walk, it costs like 50 quid these days. Leave the front door, it's like £100.
I like really normal stuff, like just having a movie at home together. And like, I like it when you make me hot chocolate and I just sit on the sofa and not do anything, and you go off and make the hot chocolate. Yeah. Which do you value most? Having free time, receiving recognition, or earning money? Can I tell you mine? I think you really know mine. Mine's having free time. Yeah. I had a day off today, and I basically like did a homestead day where I've homemade pizza dough, homemade cookies, doing bone broth, making homemade milk, like all this like homely stuff. And I'm like, I love having a space and quiet to do that. Yeah. And just be alone.
I guess a lot of my worth I attribute to how much money I bring into the family, and when I'm not bringing in much, or when everything's really quiet, that really does affect me. So I guess
that's when you always have more of a phone addiction as well.
Yeah, because I'm anxious about it, and I'm thinking,
you're on SydneySweeney.com.
Honestly, for me especially, earning money is a big one, and I think that's really why I want to get out of the UK, because it's just so many families out here are just being so squeezed financially. And I think it's one of those things where there's a lot of people who are too ashamed to really put their hands up and say, yeah, we're finding it really difficult. And I feel that it does affect a lot of us. I think there's a lot of people out there quietly suffering.
It was £7 for a bag of walnuts in Sainsbury's this morning, and I'm like, I'm not paying £7 for a bag of walnuts. £7 for walnuts.
What's the most important lesson you've learned in life? Time is non-existent. All you have is the instant. So try and be aware of that as much as you can, to understand that the singularity that you have, the now that you have, the instant that you have while we're here is so unbelievably precious and incredible, and not to take it for granted, I guess.
I guess mine would be on the same vein, I suppose, that I would say enjoy things while you have them, and try not to worry about the future so much. 80% of the time what you're worrying about doesn't happen. Everything is temporary. So you can't cling and hold on to everything. It's all temporary, all of it. So yeah, I guess that would be it.
What's a milestone you've reached that you're proud of?
I find questions like that really hard, because I have zero self-confidence. So when you ask me what I'm proud of, I'm like, it's
really weird, because like Hannah's beautiful, and I'm let's face it, I'm mid, and she should be the one that's looking in the mirror being like, I'm really pretty. And
I'm red like Proto.
Proto.
That's your opinion, though.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm being objective here. Yeah, so what's a milestone? Have you got any milestones?
I always wanted to buy a house before I was 30. I don't know why.
I want to be in a crippling amount of debt before I'm 30.
Yeah. But yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. But I feel like what I value and define as success has changed a lot in the last 2 years even.
Yeah.
And so even just this year, like I feel like for me personally, I don't think that's success anymore. I think success is is the way that you feel every day in your life. And if you're someone who can feel content and fulfilled, not every day, because it's, we're humans, but like the majority of the time, if you're feeling content and happy and joyful and you've got good people around you, that's successful.
Yeah, true.
Not, oh, I've got these shoes from blah blah and I own this car and da da da. I don't give a shit about it.
I think once you have all that stuff,
I'm actually really looking
then
forward
you're like,
to like,
I don't want any of this stuff. I think a lot of it, I think, is about framing. So we're obviously going to move to Portugal and we're going to live in, I hope if it all goes through, touch wood, a ramshackled little villa which needs complete renovation, and we're going to live in it for a long time before we do anything. And it's all about how you frame that. On one hand, we can move in and be like, oh, this is a disaster. What have we done? Why are we living like this? Bath was so much nicer. Like we had central heating and it was like, it wasn't moldy. Or you could be like, this, how romantic is this? How
Give
romantic. Yeah, and put on like some music on a little record player and then just dance around in your little crappy little villa that you bought, and and just frame it that way and see it as like a romantic adventure rather than sort of a disastrous
I do already
thing.
though. Like I know there'll be hard bits, but I do think the romance of the story is
That's
so
it. You've got to see it like
beautiful.
that. Yeah.
Like, you get everything you think you ever wanted and never had, and then you're like, actually,
it has.
I just want to be outside with my family and I want us all to live a healthy life, and that's it.
What's an area of your life you'd like to improve? I'd like to get rid of our dogs. Improve my life. They're not barking all the time.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I'm joking.
See you every night on the sofa with that
Trying to
bloody
make you
fluffy
ruffle.
dog. Shut up.
What role does honesty play in our communication? I think complete and utter honesty at all times.
Yeah. Even when it's brutal.
I've always said the best hack to not getting caught being a scumbag is not to be a scumbag. Just don't be a scumbag, and then you're never going to get caught being a scumbag.
Don't say or do anything that you shouldn't be doing, and then it's fine.
Don't be sleazy.
I love the fact that we just have like such an open, like everything's open. We know all of each other's passwords.
Yeah. I can hand you my phone.
I wouldn't even want to bother looking at your phone. I'd be so bored.
Yeah, it's pretty boring. What's a memory from your childhood that you cherish?
We had like a really gross garden when I was little. Like it was just concrete everywhere. And I used to get my duvet in the summer and put it out on the concrete and bring all my books out. And then I'd have my dog and my books. And I used to just spend hours just on my own, like in the sun reading. And I'm like, I love that. Because when you like do that as an adult, not on the concrete, but like when you're lying in the sun, you've got a good book and your dog. It's like, I feel like I could be 6, 7, 8, 9 again, because it's that same feeling of like warmth and like an animal, and like the energy of it feels the same. So yeah, that's probably mine, even though it's not a specific.
It's funny because you're probably going to manifest the same situation when we're in Portugal, aren't you?
That's basically what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want to tap out.
Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you want to
Look how many we have left, by the way, and we've done this for ages.
This is we're not drinkers anymore, but if you are a drinker and you want to grab a glass of wine or something with your partner and crack these open, they're a great thing to do one evening. If you order now before the 11th of December, I think I can still get them to you before Christmas. They're great gifts. They're just great to play.
It'd be really nice.
I'm so proud of them.
To give to parents.
Yeah, they would be. Yeah, they'd be such a great gift for parents.
Especially like parents who have young kids, because quite often you're so exhausted by the end of the day that you're like, you've got nothing left. But like one conversation prompt at the end of the day could be really nice.
I just think it'd be a great thing to have at Christmas as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if those of you that watch all of our stuff, you've heard me banging on about these so much. I need to basically get on it for Christmas, and then I'll quieten down in the new year and I won't be so relentless with banging on about my blackout cards. But I genuinely think they can make a big difference to couples and families.
And especially over Christmas, because people who aren't used to spending so much time together, it can be hard.
Yeah.
And I just think it lightens.
Especially with alcohol.
Yeah, and I just think it lightens things. It puts less pressure on thinking of conversations or having conversations with like older or younger family members. It's like expands across the generations. You can have your grandma playing with your like 7-year-old niece, and then like you can have your husband's sister jump in, and it's like it's kind of, it's no stress. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I
It's
think
like,
the good thing about it is you can pick one out and be like, no, I don't want to answer that one.
yeah,
Just
and
go to the next one.
there's no winner.
Yeah, there's no winner.
And
Yeah.
also the fact that, you can just be like, oh, I don't really want to answer
Yeah,
that, or I
yeah.
don't know,
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
And I kind of like it when I get ones where I'm like, I don't know,
Yeah.
because then I'm like, why don't I know that?
Yeah,
I need to
yeah,
go
yeah.
and like think on that.
One simple prompt can open up a whole tapestry of conversation. Thanks for watching this week's video. Bit of a weird one, but it is Friday. I've got to bang this out now in the next couple of hours before the kids get home, and then I'm hands-on dad this weekend.
Yay!
Okay, thanks so much for watching. Grab your blackout
What
cards.
do you want, a medal?
Yeah, I do actually.
You want a medal
Yeah.
for looking after your children?
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Mine is go to the Christmas tree farm.